So today we'll start with some introduction to Excel. Uh, we all know about a little bit about Excel. It is basically a tool where we can work with data, volumes of data. So let's start with data. Data is nothing but information. It can be numerical information. It can be someone's name. It can be someone's age. It can be any information. Okay, so here we can see a data frame. A data frame must have some rows and some columns. So here I have three rows, that is item type, item MRP. Sorry, here we have three columns, that is item type, item MRP, and item quantity. And we have different types of items, that is dairies, soft drinks, meat. So these are different rows. So this is a data frame. Now, first, how to work with data. So let us suppose we have item price and item quantity here, and we want to calculate the total revenue. So just like we multiply price into quantity to get the total revenue, so what I can do equal to, I just click on the cell which has the first item MRP, followed by the star sign or the multiplication sign and the quantity that we have, and just press enter to get the revenue. So this is how I can use Excel for basic mathematical operations. And see, as you click at as you like move your mouse on this cell, here you will get a plus sign, and you just left click and on the plus sign and drag. All the cells will be filled up with the same formula. In the same way, I can use Excel to divide. Just I divide revenue by the item MRP and I get the quantity, and again I drag and drop. This is called drag and drop function, and my entire data sheet, that all the rows will be filled up with the same formula. Now, suppose I have a data like this and I want to copy this and paste it somewhere else. Now, to copy a data, I just click, see first, so I'll have to first select the data. How do I select it? I can click on the top left column. I can click on the top left cell and drag the whole thing like this. But for a big data, see here we have 75 cells. But for a big data, maybe with 1000 or 2000 cells, it will be very difficult to drag like this. So I click on any cell and press Ctrl A, my entire data will be selected. Then I copy the whole thing using Ctrl C, and suppose I want to paste it on this column I. So I paste it, and it has been pasted like it has been pasted like this. But let's do it somewhere else. Suppose I have a new sheet here and I paste the data. Here, in some cases, these values may change. This, I think, because of some AI function, your entire formula has been pasted, but there is an alternative option. I can right click. I get these paste options. Here we have paste values formula, values option. If I click on values, see the values has been pasted. Previously, you could see the formula like here in the previous case, when I just pasted using Control V, we could see these formulas. B6 into C6, B7 into C7, and here D7 divided by B7. But as we paste, using the paste special function, that is under paste function, I click on the values. See, now you can see only the values, not the formula. As you click on the cells, you will see the values, not the formula. So this is the paste special function for you. Another alternative function is, another alternative option is, suppose uh, I have a very small, suppose, let's start with a very small data. Suppose I have like, I just take the first 10 observations. Okay. And I want to see the data in a I want to transpose the data. That is what I have here in rows will be in columns. So again, I click on any empty cell and see, there is an option. The first option is paste, the second option is values, third is formula, the fourth one is transpose. If I click on transpose, see, my rows has been changed into column. See, previously we had the type of the product in rows. Now they are in columns, and all the columns, item, MRP, quantity, and revenue, these all goes to different rows. So this is the paste special function for you. So under paste special, we have learned two functions. That is, one is the transpose function where I change rows into column, and another is special value function where only values of the cell will be pasted somewhere, not the formula. Okay. So now, uh, now previously I calculated the previously I showed you how did we calculate the total revenue using the multiplication sign. Now let's suppose there is a tax rate here. I have all the item and their item MRP, and the tax rate on each item is 18%. So I have to calculate the tax on each product. So for let's start with the volume of tax. So here it is simply this, the MRP into, I have written the tax rate here, that is 18%. I click on 18% and it gives me this value. Now if I drag and drop, okay, just I have entered some formula here, but let's start with something without formula. So suppose the tax rate is 18%. I have written the 18% here. So the amount of tax is this into this. Now if I drag and drop, I will face a problem. All the zeros are coming. Why? If I click on this cell, see, it is, as we are moving to different rows, it is taking some blank rows. So as it is not being multiplied by 18%. See, this is called referencing. Okay. Actually, when I am multiplying this B2 into K4, K4 is your reference point. This is called referencing. Now, this is absolute. This is actually, as I'm changing these cells, the reference cells are getting changed. So what I have to do here, I have to fix this value. See, I have written this 18% in this cell K4 only. If I simply change this, if this, I move instead of K4, I go to K5 or K6, I'm not getting any value for tax rate. So I have to fix this particular cell, which can be done using the dollar sign. Okay. So as I put the dollar before K, the kth row is fixed. Sorry, the kth column, K is the column number. As I put the dollar sign before K, then the kth column is fixed. As I put the dollar sign before 4, that means the fourth row is fixed. Now this particular cell, that is K4, is fixed, and as I drag and drop, all has been all the these cells have been multiplied by K4 only. Okay. So the reference point is being fixed. There is another option here, which is the name manager formula. So here the tax rate is, I can fix the tax rate using the name manager function. How will I do it? I click on formulas. See, there is a name manager tab. So I click on this name manager tab, and actually previously I just, so here the name is tax rate, and tax rate refers to this 18% cell. That is, I fix this cell, and okay. So I close the whole thing. So equal to this into the tax rate. That gives me, and then I drag and drop. See, all have been multiplied. So here, instead of tax, I am fixing this 18% as a tax rate here. And as I drag and drop, I don't have to fix anything with a dollar sign, or I don't have to put anything as dollar sign. It will consider that particular cell only. Okay. Now, let's move on to something else. Uh, Here, I'll show you how to use Excel to, add two particular cells. Like here, I have written the name of different cricketers, the name and surname. Virat in one cell, Kohli in another cell, Rohit in one cell, Sharma is another cell, and I want to write Virat Kohli. See, there are two ways. One, first I will type Virat space Kohli. And then I click on data, and there is a flash fill option. As I click on the flash fill option, it is filling the rest of the column. And suppose I write, say, okay, there is Kuldeep Yadav, and again, I can do the same thing using the flash fill option. It will it will add Kuldeep and Yadav and give me Kuldeep Yadav. Alternatively, I can use the concatenate function. So I'll put equal to sign, and see there is a concat. So I click on tab, see the bracket has been opened. So I click on Virat, then comma, then Kohli, and close the bracket. So it gives me Virat Kohli. But again, there's a problem. See, normally we put a space between the name and surname. It is not coming. So what can I do here? Again, I write concat, open the bracket, Virat, comma, and then whatever I want between these two name and surname, I can put that inside a double quotation. I want a space here. So I have opened the double quotation. I'll just press the space sign once and close the double quotation, comma. And then I click on Kohli and close the bracket. See, whatever I wanted, Virat space Kohli. It's there in my cell. Then the Rohit Sharma thing. So suppose I wanted, instead of space, I wanted a slash between Virat and Kohli. So just like instead of space, I would have written a backslash and clicked on it, and see there is a black backslash between the name and surname all along. Okay. So so now the alternatively, suppose I have these names here and I want to separate these names. I want Virat in one cell and Kohli in another cell. How would I do it? So I'll click on data. See, there is a text to column option. I click on this text to column option. Okay. So again, I'm showing you data, text to column. Then see, there is a delimited. So I click on this delimited. Okay. Next. Now, what I want, I had slash as a separator. Okay, it's neither tab nor semicolon nor comma nor space. So I click on other and put the backslash. Okay, in between. I put a backslash as a separator. I deselect tab because I don't have a tab here. Okay, and next. Now, where do I want my data? I want it here. I click on any empty cell. Okay, and then finish. But again, it is just giving me the concatenate sign. So I'll just remove the whole thing. Just a minute. So again, I will delimit the whole thing. Since it was a that was a concatenate, those two Virat Kohli were added using the concat formula. It is again showing me the concat formula. I can't do it. Okay. So again, now I have this old Virat Kohli Rohit Sharma, and then I'll go to data, text to column, delimited. Next. Now I have a space between Virat Kohli, so I don't need this. I just have a space between. So I'll deselect other. I'll click on the cell. See, it is already showing me Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav. Okay. So next. And where do I want my separated names? I want it here and finish. Okay, so Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, and Surya Kumar Yadav and Kuldeep Yadav. See, Surya Kumar Yadav, since it's a middle name between the two, and I did not tell Excel what to do with the middle name, it has taken Surya as the first name, Kumar as something else, and Yadav at the end. So it is coming in a different column. Okay. So this is how I can, merge two cells, concatenate two cells, and separate different things in Excel. Like suppose your name, someone's name and some other thing is written, some slash is there, some other signs are there. I can separate them. Okay. So next, move on to the data validation. Data validation is suppose there are different category and you want to divide the data into different categories. Suppose here we have the name of the player and their batting order. Usually Virat Kohli comes at number 1, number 2 is Rohit Sharma, Arshdeep Singh is, I think he comes at number 7, Surya Kumar Yadav is number 4, Rishabh Pant 3 down, Akshar Patel maybe 5 down, and this is ninth and 10th. Now there are three types of player in a team. It's either a batsman or a bowler or a wicket keeper. So here I will classify them as batter, bowler, and wicket keeper. So let's move on to data validation. So first I will create a list. I will I'll click on data. Here I have the data validation. I'll click on data validation. So what I want here, I want a list here. Okay. And now I have to write somewhere that it's either batter, bowler, wicket keeper. Okay, so this is my list. So I will put this in my list. So again, I'm showing you. So I'm going to data and then click on data validation, and I will select the list. Now, where will I get a list? This is my list, batter bowler and wicketkeeper. And then I click on OK. See, drag this a sign, an arrow sign is coming here. I'll click on an arrow, I'll get the whole list. So, Akshar Patel is a bowler. Virat Kohli, again, is a batter. Then Rohit Sharma is a batter. Arshdeep Singh is a bowler. Surya is a batter. We all remember his catch as well. Rishabh Pant is a wicket keeper. Then Bumrah, we all know. And then Kuldeep Yadav is also a bowler. So this is how I create a list. This is one type of data, um, what should I say? This is one function of data validation. Now, sometimes we have certain data which is not suppose like the values which we are not supposed to get. See, here we have different products and their revenues. We know revenue is a non-negative quantity. It's price into quantity. Price is a positive thing, quantity is a positive thing. So revenue has to be a non-negative thing. So here, suppose I want to circle circle the cells which is showing me negative revenues. Now see, this is a very small data. I can see where I'm getting the negative values. Now suppose you have a data with say 500 observations. It is difficult to find out like this. I want to identify the cells with negative value. So again, what will I do? I'll select this thing. I'll click on data. Under data validation tab, there is a circle invalid data, and it is circling the negative values for me. But now, how you will tell me how it is circling the data, because previously I told Excel, okay, I wanted this thing. I wanted to circle the negative values. So I'll show you how did I do it. Just a minute. I'm removing the validation circle. So first I go to data, then data validation. Okay, so what I wanted values less than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 0 or less than 0. So here, previously I selected list, but now I don't want list. I want what? I want whole number. And the now I want to circle the, so I'm telling Excel, you remember it has to be less than 0. So this is less than, and then instead of maximum, I'm putting 0. Okay. Okay. Now again, I'm clicking on data and circle invalid data. Just a minute. I think I have put some wrong, something. Full number. No. Okay, so it should be less than or equal to 0. So it is circling my less than or equal to the maximum value. So it is circling the negative values for me. Okay, so this is invalid circle function. Another function that comes under the data validation tab is removing the duplicate values. So here I have written the Virat and Rohit, these two names twice. So I'll select the whole thing, click on data, and then just give me a minute. I don't know why I'm not being able to share this. Just give me. So here, what I have repeated the name of Virat and Rohit twice. So I'll click on the whole thing. I'll select the whole thing. I'll click on data. See, under the data tools tab, there is remove duplicate option. I'll click on remove duplicate, and then a small window will open. So all my names are written in column A. So I'm concerned about column A only. So it has been already selected here, and okay. See, it is removing. See, a dialog box is opening. It is saying me that two duplicate values found and removed. So I wrote Virat and Rohit twice. I wrote these two names twice, and that has been, those names have been removed. Okay. So I'll click on OK. Okay. The next function of Excel that I'm going to discuss here is the sort option. Okay. Sort is, we can simply sort them alphabetically, or from like in an ascending order or descending order. So let's show you the alphabetical thing. See, there's item type, dairy, soft drinks. These things can be like sorted in an alphabetical order. So I'll click on data. See, there is a sort option, A to Z or Z to A. So A to Z means in like A, B, C, D, like this alphabetical order. So I'll click on this. Now there is a warning. There is a warning. So I'll click on expand the selection, means that it will arrange the entire data according to the item type. Okay. So I'll click on sort. Okay. So baking good is it starts with B. So it should come. Then there we have bread, breakfast. See, these all this column has been sorted in an alphabetical order, and the corresponding values in the other columns, that is item MRP, uh, the corresponding values in the other columns have been sorted accordingly. Okay, then let's show you the ascending sort. So I'll click on this again. I'll click on expand the selection. See, this column has been sorted in ascending order. In the same way, I'll click on data. I'll select the whole column. I'll click on data, and then Z to A gives me the descending sort. Okay. See, it has been sorted in a descending order. Okay. So that's the sort option for you. Next, I'm going to show you the filter option. Okay, so again, I have pasted the same data. Now, suppose I want to see the MRP of the dairy products, or how many dairy products are there in this entire data set. So I'll click on this item type. First, I'll select the item type column, and I go to data. See, there's a filter option. I'll click on filter. See, a small button is being activated on this column. I'll click on this. See, it is giving me different options. So what do I want? I want a dairy product. So first I'll deselect all, then I'll select the dairy product and okay. See, here I have the price of dairy products, and it is also telling me how many dairy products are there. See, look at the bottom of the table. After ready, at the extreme left corner, 8 of 74 records found. That means out of these 74 records, I have 8 dairy products. In the same way, I can show you if I dislike the dairy product and click on frozen fruit. So 7 out of 74 records are 7 out of 74 observations in your data are frozen fruit. frozen food. Okay, so this is how I filter the data. Okay, now, so again, I'll select all to show the entire data. Now, I'll show you something else. Suppose I want to, okay, let's filter this data. The next option, the next function that I'm going to show you is the custom filter function. So here, again, I have clicked on filter. This soft button has been activated. I'll click on this. And now I have this custom filter. Suppose I see so many options are there. Equals, not, does not equal, greater than, less than, equal to, less than. Suppose I want the top 10. I'll click on the top 10. So what do I want in the top 10? This is item MRP. Okay, I'll click on this. I see the most expensive 10 products. Now I want something else. Suppose I want the items having, say, values maybe greater than 100 rupees and less than 250 rupees. Okay, see, it's showing me greater than 100 and less than 250. So this is one type of customer filters. Or suppose I want the products having price above the average price of the entire data. So above average, I'll click on this and I get the data. Okay. So these are all filter functions. Now let's move on to the let's show you how can we use the conditional formatting. See, in some cases, we want to highlight some particular values and then we use the conditional formatting function. Suppose, okay, see, year since, let's look at the value year since inception. And I want to highlight the cells having, like, which are more than, which, and where the in year since inception is more than 20. Okay. So, I'll click on home and look at the this styles column. So there is the first one is the conditional formatting functions. So see the first I get the highlight cell rules. So what I want greater than or equal to 25. So here we have or maybe greater than 25. So I'll click on greater than. So I here I have written 25. And what do I want? I want maybe green fill with dark green text that I have picked. And see, all the 29s are like green with green text. Okay, so this is the concept of conditional formatting. So this is how I can identify some particular values or some particular irregularities. Maybe I have marks of different students and I want to highlight the student, I mean marks which are greater than 60%, or maybe I have attendance of some students and I want to highlight the students which who are having less than 70% attendance or less than 50% attendance. That I can do using this condition, either using the conditional formatting function or using the filter function to separate out but those values, or and sometimes invalid circle functions as well. Now this data, like, I'll use the same data to show you the table properties. Or so next, I'll show you the uh, table properties of this Excel. Okay, so just a minute. Huh? So if I click on any particular, if I select this entire data, see, I can do it like this by dragging the whole thing, or I can select on any cell on the table and press Control A to select the whole table. If I select the whole data and press Control T, a small dialog box will open like this. Where is the data for your table? So this is my table from cell A1 to cell K75. My table has headers. Obviously, my table has headers like item weight, item fat, like all the row, all the column names. These are called headers. And I'll click on OK. Now see, something like this appears. See, all the sort and filter buttons that I showed, all the filter buttons that I showed you earlier, it has been activated automatically. I'll click on this and I can simply filter the baking goods. I can filter the like dairy products that I did earlier. Okay. So this, I don't have to filter separately. All the buttons have been activated here. So that's the first function of the table. Now suppose I want another column. Suppose I have 18% tax rate here. And I want to calculate the tax on this. So this is equal to this into 18%. And it is giving me the tax rate. And see, all the cells have been filled up like this. I don't have to drag and drop. Automatically it will be filled up. Okay. Now, this is the column function. Now suppose I want to do the row total. Okay. I'll go to the last, I'll go to this cell number 76. Cell number 75 was my last cell. So I'll go to 76th row and I put a formula equal to sum and I select the whole column. Okay. See, it is giving me the sum. And now I click on any cell. See, this like just like the filter button, a button has been activated, but it has different functions. See here, if I click on this button, it is showing me so many things: average, count numbers, max, min. I'll show you. First, let's start with average. See, if I click on average, it is giving me the average value of this item visibility. Again, in MRP, if I click on average, it is giving me the average value. Now, instead of average, suppose I want to see the number of observation. I click on count, it is giving me 70. Obviously, we had 75 or 74 observation here because see, there are 75 rows. The first row has headers. So we have 74 observations. So it is giving me the count. Next, if I click on maybe max, so maximum price is 265. If I click on minimum, the minimum item MRP is 38. If I click on, say, standard deviations, STDEV gives me the standard deviation of price. Variance gives me the variance of price. There is a more functions options. Here we have a lot of other options. Maybe standard deviation, sign, max, sum if, but we don't want them now. Okay, so this is how the table properties. Again, year since inception. Again, if I want the average years is 16.25. Maybe I want the maximum, the oldest one, which is 29. Previously also I highlighted the when I highlighted the values more than 25, all the 29s were highlighted. I showed you in the conditional formatting section. Okay. So the last discussion of this video is the discussion on pivot chart. Pivot chart is basically Pivot chart is basically I have these data and sometimes I want a different type of chart. I want a frequency distribution, I want a cross tabulation, and that can be done using the pivot chart function in Excel. So again, I click on the data, go to home, sorry, I'll go to insert. See, the first option is pivot table. So I'll click on this. Now the table range, I have selected the data, the same thing is coming under table range. And where do I want to put my pivot table? I can put it in some new worksheet, but this time I can put it on this existing worksheet only and click on any blank cell. Now what do I want in my pivot chart? Maybe I want to create a frequency distribution where I'll show the frequencies of this item fat column, low fat, regular, and this thing. Okay, so what do I want? I want item fat content in the row, and in column I want maybe the count. Okay, count of item fat content. So what am I doing here? Look, first I'm dragging the item fat content in the row. Again, I'm dragging the item fat content in the column and it is giving me the frequency. See, I know that there are 74 observations and it is just creating the frequency distribution for me. The first one is the row level, the levels, that is low fat and regular. This first second column is the frequency, okay, or the number of items I have which have low fat content and number of items I have which have regular containing regular fat content. Now suppose instead of item fat content, I want item type. So I'll click on item type in rows and maybe and in the column I want the count of item type. See, I have 3 baking goods, 1 bread, 8 dairies that I calculated earlier using the filter function. So this is how I create a frequency distribution. The next one that I'm going to show you is how we can create a group frequency distribution here. So I deselect everything. Now suppose I want a group frequency distribution on item MRP. Okay, so I'm putting item MRP in rows and again I'm dragging item MRP in values, and here see it is showing the sum of item MRP, but I want the frequency, I want the count. So I'll click on this. See, so many things are coming. The last one is value field setting. I will click on value field setting and here I'll get count. I click on count and okay. Now see, it is giving me different values and count. I don't want such a long frequency distribution. Like I want a group frequency distribution. So I'll right click on this. I'll right click on any cell and I'll select Telecent and right click. See, there's a group option. I'll click on group. So maybe my groups are starting at 0. See, it will automatically give you the maximum or and the minimum value inside the box. So suppose I want it from 0 and 0 to the maximum value is 265. So let's put it to 70. And the class interval or the class, like the class width, I want it maybe 30. Okay, so I'll click on OK. So starting at 0, ending at 270, and the gap should be like class width for each class should be 30, and I'll click on OK. See, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, it has created a group frequency distribution for me. And obviously I knew there are 74 observations. So the total frequency should be 74. So this is how I can create frequency distribution using the pivot table function. Next, I'll show you how can I can use the pivot table function to create a cross tabulation. Okay. So again, I'll click on insert and pivot table. Now my table range, the previous table only I'll select. So this one, okay. And where do I want? I'll just select a blank cell somewhere. So this is where I will place my table. Now what I want, maybe I want a frequency distribution. Sorry, I want a cross tabulation where I will show you the outlet size, okay, in columns, that is high, medium, and small, and the sales volumes in row, and in the values I want the count of sales. So the sales count is high, medium, and low. Now suppose I want the sales values. See, again it is coming like this, and I want to group this. So again I'll click on any cell on this, like on the first column, and I'll click on group. So my sales is starting, see, the minimum value was 163, maximum was this. So let's start from 100 and let's end at 7,000, and the class width should be 1,000, and okay, see, 100 to 1,000, what I wanted earlier. Okay, so it is creating the cross tabulation for me. So this is how I can use pivot table to either create a frequency distribution like this or a cross tabulation like this. Now here, instead of count, if I want the average values, average MRPs. So I'll click on this count of cell things. I'll click on this arrow beside this. I'll click on this arrow near this count of sales. I'll click on value field setting, and suppose I want the average. So I'll click on average and okay. So it will be giving me the average values of like this, and it will create a cross tabulation for me like this. Okay, so so that's a okay. So that's the end of this video for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.